We're here. We finally met.
Wait, are we live yet?
This is live. Yeah, this is live.
Okay. We're telling your followers. We're telling them. They're just telling me.
But it's still live. Yeah. Like, when it first comes on, it's still live.
I've never done this before.
No way.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Y'all, it is so awesome to meet Julie finally in the flesh, in the physical.
Look, we're actually together. We're not on two different screens.
Mm-hmm.
How amazing is that?
So we are here in Austin, Texas at Casa de Luz, and it is the Texas Fruit Festival. Wait, how many times have you been to the Fruit Festival?
This is only my second time.
Only your second.
Because I was either very pregnant or caring for a newborn last year, and the year before that I was here.
Okay, the
Yeah.
year before that, and this is your second. Awesome. This is my very first. I've never been here before, so I'm excited. I mean, it's been nice. I heard your talk. You had a phenomenal talk, an amazing talk. You talked about just your journey with not only, having a home birth, having a pregnancy that the doctors did not pick up, having to deal with, medications prescribed like Adderall, all sorts of stuff. That actually plucked some heartstrings for me because I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I took all the Ritalin, the Adderall, the Concerta, the Strattera, all those pharmaceuticals that just really disturbed me in ways where I didn't feel like myself.
Yeah.
And then when I did have a time where I was hooked on Adderall, your comparison, it was very relatable when you were saying you felt like you were on top of the world. You knew everything.
Yeah.
You felt like you could solve calculus and geometry and advanced, all this stuff at the same time.
Right.
And do Albert Einstein geometrical equations on the book. That's what it made you feel. But you said something, Julie, and I think this was really poignant, the way you said it. You said, it took away more than it gave.
Oh my gosh. It rendered me useless.
Yeah. So that was a testimony, and it was powerful because you were letting people know the power of community, coming together, the power of, your own intuition, believing in yourself, believing in your body, tuning into your body, and just really understanding what is going on within you as you continue, So just thank you for these timeless messages. Thank you for the way you tell it because it's unique to you. And your voice.
Thanks. Yeah, and Jerome also was here leading. He did his Qigong, which it always lifts me. I don't know about you guys, but it's so nice and comforting. And there's been some trying times where I popped on, and he's always just loyal and faithful there for us. And today I got to do it in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw you doing the moves in the crowd. I saw you working with it, doing the motions.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like to do that all day long, like a Qigong retreat, where you just do that, live on the prana and just do that for days, and then I bet it really, really shifts.
It's definitely, it changes your nervous system, doing long Qigong, prolonged Qigong, or just doing something consistently. It doesn't have to be for long durations. But if you have a continuation of that sensation and that vibration, it changes everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of the time you're like, oh, I'd like that to be nice, but does it really work? And then you're trying it and you're like, is it really gonna work? And it's all these things are subtle. They're not like drugs where you take an Adderall and suddenly you shift
immediately.
It's a subtle thing, so you need patience.
Yes, you got it.
That's right.
It's patience. It's all about patience. I mean, you're being patient with your emotions, you're being patient with yourself on the physical level, being patient with your development on a spiritual level, and on an energetic level, feeling the energy, becoming more sensitive. That takes patience. It all takes patience.
Yeah, and there's just I just never used to tap into myself and work with my energy. I didn't even know it was something I could do. And so now you know, I used to have an addiction to, okay, I need alcohol, or I need drugs, or I need, you know, dense food or something. And now I'm like, I need these tools, you know, like I've got to go for a walk. I've got to sweat. I've got to do some hot cold therapy.
I gotta be in the sun.
I got to get to the sun.
Yeah. It's shining on us, you know? So I can only imagine, Julie, like raising Nina and Violet. I'm sure it's given you a tremendous amount of patience.
Yeah. It's so the thing about motherhood that I think is the hardest, because it's so wonderful and it's like the best thing, and something I wanted since I was a very little girl. I wanted 7 children from the time I could talk.
That exact number.
Yeah, I don't know why
wow.
7's the lucky number though, right?
It's very specific.
Yeah.
For sure.
And maybe I'm going to have 7 children. I'm 37 and I'm healthier than I've ever been.
There you go.
So anyway, yeah, I feel like the thing that's hardest is when you're depleted, your energy is done, and you're thinking, I just need a break. Your kids are going to be climbing on you, and they're going to be like, well, we still need you to be our leader. And you're like, but I don't want you to see me right now because I'm having a hard time, and I don't feel like leading.
Right.
I need to take care of myself.
Right.
So what do? You get stronger. You learn to take care of yourself in the chaos.
Okay.
And you learn to set boundaries, and you learn to lean on people.
Ooh.
Because
Community.
I didn't like asking for help.
Okay.
When I was like in my sickness and stuff, I didn't like asking for help.
You're more of a soloist?
Yeah, I thought, no, it can't show when you're weak.
I see.
And
Okay.
then, yeah,
You didn't want that other people to see that vulnerability.
that's right. I didn't want them to see that. And so, like, having people see my kids dirty or in meltdown mode, like at these retreats when I bring both my girls, it's teaching me that that's okay. And you know, the women and the men, they step up. Oh, let me help you with that. Let me help you with your child. You want me to take her for a little bit?
Right.
And it's like, oh, thank God I let them see me like this,
Yeah,
because otherwise I'd be hiding and suffering. Like, I'm struggling. I'm overwhelmed. But when I expose my vulnerabilities, people come in to help.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You have arms around you.
Yeah.
You have community around you.
Yes.
Like you said today, community. You know, coming together. Hey there. Coming together with community.
Yes.
Yeah. Like with that support system, you know, I love what you said, Julie. You said self-care in the chaos. Self-care in the chaos. You're not waiting till the chaos is over to take care of yourself. You're saying you have self-care within it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I like to start every morning with a manifestation meditation.
Okay, what is that? How does that go?
So I try to wake up before I do anything, before I touch my phone. I try to say, what am I really happy about? And then I try to say, and what is it I want from the universe today? And then I try to specifically look at what is it that I want and feel the way it would feel if I had that, because I'm bringing it to me.
Yeah. So you're like pulling it into your reality with the feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then sometimes the girls, they wake me up the minute my eyes open, and they're like, Mommy, I peed the bed. I'm really upset. And Violet's like, I want to breastfeed. And I'm just like, okay, I still have to do this. I'm still thinking, like, and I tell them, girls, even though they don't understand, girls, I'm doing my meditation. I need a few minutes, and sometimes they don't listen to me.
Okay.
And I just do it anyway, because that's a challenge.
Whoa.
That's a challenge to do that, and that's making me stronger.
You're like challenge accepted.
Yes.
That's amazing. See, that's what makes you resilient. You know, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, because what you're saying, Julie, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying you do your meditation before the stimulation, right? You go to the throne before you go to your phone, right? So when you're at home, you're like, okay, you get up, everything's going on, it's, you know, all sorts of things are begging for your attention, but you still go in You still make sure to do your manifestation. You still make time for relaxation. That's
and
awesome.
It's so important. Like, no one in our society says how important it is to stop, get still, and connect.
Yeah, stillness.
And most people are really uncomfortable with their stillness, or stillness in general.
For sure.
So
we're used to like very quick pace, go. There has to be, something. You need to do something. You need to choose something. You need to be something. You need to free something. Like, you need to go and be somebody, do something. Like, there's always a go, but it's never like slow. So when you're in that stillness, you let go of the illness when you're in stillness.
Yeah, that's really good. I still struggle with that, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm having a beautiful moment with my girls, with my family, and then I'm like, but I have to do the dishes, and I also have to do this, and I have to get up and do this, and if I don't, and then I'm like, stop. That's not important right now, you know?
Okay.
But when you see that you have something you want to work on, it's exciting. Because if everything was already perfect, what would you have to earn and climb to?
What lessons would we learn? For sure. Yeah. If there was nothing, if there were, like they say, setbacks aren't in the way, they're on the way. Right?
Yes. That was good. I like that one.
So, it's interesting when you say if there's something you're excited, you're reignited. The energy is invited when you're excited. The energy is invited when you're delighted, So what is something right now that you would say that you are most excited for? Like, what's really giving you bliss? What's really giving you just a lot of oomph for life? What making you get out?
The new information that I've been receiving about how we are the creator. Yes, I've heard this for years, but I didn't really know that, we are the creator. Like the Matrix you're always referencing, that movie, those people who made that movie, they knew some things, so it's like we really are the creator. And so while I was in my old relationship and I was working so hard on cleansing my body, because every time I got cleaner in my body, I felt more powerful. And I could see through the limiting beliefs and the fake things cage I'd put on myself.
Okay.
And so I was just going and just I got to this place where I was like, okay, now I need to start envisioning my perfect life. Everything I have right now, I was envisioning.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought it seemed impossible. I mean, I thought it all seemed totally impossible, but I just kept on envisioning it.
You just kept on anyway.
And I was like, it's going to happen. This is what I want. And I would spend time every day thinking about it. And now I'm here. And I think that the best thing is, like, to be honest, I felt lonely most of my life. And that's because I didn't connect with people. I felt like I was different than people.
How different?
I just had a different way of thinking, a different way of seeing, and people liked it and they liked me, but they didn't really understand me. So I felt on the outside.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to just be someone you're like excited about. I want to be like with my same frequencies.
Understood.
And
yeah.
So
not just
now,
acknowledged, but deeply understood, deeply known. Yeah, deeply felt, deeply seen, deeply heard, deeply. Not just on the surface level, but deeper.
Yes.
Okay.
That's always what I'm about.
Okay.
I don't want those fake friends that we just, play around like we understand. I want real depth. And I'm just so blessed because I actually feel like I have my family now. Like, you're my family, and all the people I've connected with, it's just soul fulfilling.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, you saw, Julie, when you did your talk today, you seen people were asking questions. People wanted to know more. People were, encouraging you to give more. Like, they wanted to hear more. They wanted to hear your voice like, wow, you know, what do you think about this, and what about homeschooling, and what about the current situation? And you gave your experience as, you said, a kindergarten teacher. You said you were teaching kindergarten?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm
So,
a kindergarten teacher.
That experience alone, I mean, I'm sure that's shaped so many things that have prepared you for a lot of other things, you know, down the line.
I used to give Skittles.
Okay, so you remember.
Who's being good? I get a Skittle. Those
okay.
kids, they'll behave for the Skittle.
Mm.
And like, now I feel like, I was conditioning those kids.
Oh man, well, we were all conditioned.
Yeah.
I definitely was.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, I mean, I think the only way that I was able to not erase my conditioning, but replace my conditioning. I replaced it with something else and conditioned myself with something else that benefited my health. So,
Amazing.
yeah, it was like, you know, they talk about brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to scrub my brain again.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take my brain, put it in here, and just like give it a good washing, like, because it had already been washed.
It's so funny when you like realize that your brain is like a program,
Yeah,
like
it
a
is.
computer.
Straight up.
You're just going on autopilot. Stop that.
Straight
We're
up,
not doing that program anymore.
Right.
It's really bizarre. And then you can program yourself to anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped following anybody I thought, you know, social media can be a really bad thing. It could be a really great thing.
They call it the feed,
The feed.
right? Your news feed, right? Your social media feed, your feed. You're scrolling the feed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're eating all the time.
Yeah. So I only follow people that were posting things that I would like to aspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started looking at that stuff only and deleting everything else, kind of in my virtual reality and in my regular reality.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my biggest hurdle I think was myself.
Okay.
but also
Getting in your
like
own way?
yeah, getting in my own way. But no, what I was really gonna say was like one of my biggest hurdles was acceptance from my family. Just like, because even with my family I was very different than everybody else.
Same.
And yeah, that's why, you get it. And they were just like, why? They always ask me why. Everything I did, why? With that look on their face.
Why?
And I'm just like, okay, I don't really want to
Like,
tell you anymore.
why not?
Because,
Yeah. Like, why not? What's the
Yeah,
for
because I
sure.
want to explore life. And I want to explore everything, you know, that it's just wild, Jerome. The life that's there for us
Yeah.
that nobody knows about.
It's here for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's not something you can give to somebody. Like that want to improve yourself, that want to get out of your comfort zone, that want to escape your conditioning or to replace your conditioning, that want to branch yourself out and go out on a limb and see how far you can fly, to spread your wings and take to the sky. Like that is, I think it comes from within.
Yeah.
You can't give it to somebody. You can't give it to
That's
your
so
family.
true.
You can't give it to your friends. It has to spring forth from them.
And that's a whole thing to swallow. Because as soon as you get to this place, you're like, okay, now I want everyone to come here. Like, they would be doing so much better. And then I had to go through the process. It's been a couple years now, where I was just like harping on my family. And they were like, is she going crazy? Is she
Right.
going crazy? And I'm like, and then eventually, like, you know, it just doesn't work to, just start telling them, you got to do what I'm doing. It's going to be great. They're not, you know, that's not their path.
Right.
And, another thing that was really hard for me was seeking acceptance.
Okay.
Seeking acceptance
From.
my family.
Okay.
And feeling like they did not accept me as who I am, was not accepted. And now I was so confused how to fix that. And then years and years of trying to figure it out, and I mean years. And then specifically my father figure. And then I realized I don't need to do anything because he is who he is and I am who I am and he loves me and I love him and I just need to know who he is and change my expectations, and now I have. Ooh. And now I expect him to be him.
Whoa.
And now we have a good relationship.
Okay. So you said something real key, Julie. So you said instead of trying to change him, you just focused on changing you.
Yes. Yeah.
And by changing you, it changed him because it changed how you see him. So the one way to free him was to change how you see him. Now you're saying like you don't see him as somebody who has to change or has to adjust or has to adapt to your way of living. Now you're like he's on his own path.
Yep. So let me tell you a story.
Okay.
So he went with me to the vegan wellness retreat recently. And I gave a talk there, and he hadn't heard any of my work. He doesn't watch my social media, but I asked him to come there, and he said yes. And
that was a big deal.
A big deal. And he's watching me talk, and I'm so passionate, and I had to deliver extra this time because he was watching.
Okay.
And it really just gave it my story, and then he was super excited. He was like, wow, you're really doing things. He didn't think that. When I told him my dreams, he was like, I don't think you can do all that.
He didn't really believe it?
He actually was like laughing. Like, you
wow.
can't, nobody wants to do that stuff. You can't make a living doing that.
Oh.
And so then he saw me doing it. And then he was like, wow, you are doing it. And then I was like, this feels so good.
Yeah.
Even though I was trying to let that go, it's still kind of there. And then afterwards, after a while, he calls me and we're just chit-chatting. And he's have to have my expectations right. I go, Dad, I'm so excited. I'm going to change the world. Because I really do feel like that.
You are.
I'm going to be doing this till I'm in my 80s or 90s. You and me can be sitting right here, 80, 90 years old, more vibrant than ever. I heard you say that in Qigong today. Old age does not have to involve pills or...
Not at all.
Or achy anything.
Not at all.
So I'm telling him, Dad, yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm going to change the world. And this made him upset.
Oh.
He said... Oh, I don't want you to get false expectations. I don't want you to think that you can change the world. That's just not realistic. And what does that even mean anyway? And that's what I'm saying in my head. Oh boy.
Yeah.
How do I respond?
Yeah.
How do I stay calm? I'm okay. And then I say, because his opinion always mattered a lot to me, as a little girl. And so then I was like, he said, what does that even mean, change the world? And I said, it means getting up every day aligned to your passion, getting up every day and trying your best to be your authentic, beautiful self, leading with love and touching everybody you come into contact with that love and genuine passion. And he was just like kind of quiet, and it didn't end on a great note.
Okay, he wasn't feeling it.
He was just like, well, I just don't think everybody in the world is going to want to go raw vegan or juice fasting or, liquidarian. And I'm just like, thanks, Dad. Well, thanks anyway, great talk. And then I let it go. And you know what I thought? It's not about me. It's about him. That's his view of the world.
Yeah.
And he's trying to protect me. He's trying to say, don't get your hopes up. So a lot of the time, when you're looking for acceptance in others, it's not about you. It's just about them. So once I came to terms with that, I don't care what he thinks. It's just his heart is in the right place.
Yeah. So weight off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, yeah. Cutting the anchor.
Well, I think you planted the seed though.
Yeah, and then yesterday he calls me, Jules, I'm gonna tell you all the fruit that I have in my house today.
There you go.
And I'm like, what? Okay. He's like, I blah blah blah. I got blueberries. I always have watermelon. I have this. And then he's like, and now I gotta go because I'm gonna go eat some bananas.
Where did that come from?
I know, right? So there we go. When those people tell you no. Hello. You're right here. Welcome back. Okay. Thank you. Right here.
But yeah, no, great point. Great point.
So I wanted to ask you if you had anything similar with your parents being the only child.
Definitely.
You must have felt like you needed to fill a role for them. They probably wanted you to fill a role for them that was not anything what you are now, because it's just not, expected in our normal.
And plus my mom's a doctor, so that was another thing. There was a whole
My grandpa's a doctor.
See, there you go. Mm-hmm. So a whole nother layer of fear, misunderstanding, misinterpretation, but
basically saying his whole work is really not needed if you just fix the diet.
It can be very invalidating to someone who feels that they know a lot about the body and about what they think that the body needs and what it doesn't need, and how it operates, how it lives, how it doesn't live. And when we have so many ideas, it's hard to remain open-minded. It's hard to give room for something that could contradict what has been ingrained for so long.
It's hard to admit that your whole life has been a lie.
Oh man.
Like when you think about you don't need food, then you look around and you see how much everybody's lives are just completely obsessed with getting your food, making your food, eating your food, and you don't even need it.
Right.
You can survive without it.
Right.
Then wow, like you gotta your mind has just gotta wrap your head around that. And some people can't even wrap their head around the fact they don't need milk.
See, it was tough for me to wrap my head when I seen one of my friends. The first time I seen one of my friends who's a vegan, Josh Robinson. He doesn't eat meat. He was like swole, muscly guy, tall as me, big guy, like Hercules.
Yeah.
And he's the biggest guy he's a personal trainer. And he's the only guy that was in my family's house that wasn't eating animal products, that wasn't eating animals. And it was a standout. I was like looking at him and I was looking at everyone else. They were all coughing and he was doing push-ups, right? And no meat, right? No animals. So that was something that started to break me out way before I knew about all of this. So it can be very challenging, but they say keep an open mind like a parachute. It doesn't do you any good clothes,
Yeah, you can never, like whenever anyone tells me the craziest things, I'm like, I notice that the mind instantly doesn't like to hear things I don't like to hear. Like, okay, as you're going through the diet modification, well, actually, that's not very healthy either. Well, actually, this is not, and actually, I found this study on this, and it's like, can't hear it, la la la, and then you're like, wait a second, and it sometimes will take time to settle in. But so back to your parents. So that I have a lot of medical people in my family as well, and it's just straight up insulting to them.
Yeah, I mean...
You're like, I'm my own doctor.
Right. They're like, who do you think you are? Yeah.
They're like, I worked so hard for this. And, Yeah, so what is your relationship with them like now?
Now it's great.
Because they've seen that you're doing well.
They had to see me, though.
Yeah.
I had to be around them for a few months for them to see how I move, see how I maneuver throughout the matrix, see how I operate, see my habits, my new patterns, to see my changes. And even though I was completely different on what I do and don't do, I'm still their son. Yeah. I'm still, and they saw that. They saw that, hey, this is still Jerome, this is still you. So they just realized, oh, he's just doing something different, but hey, even though I don't understand it, even though I don't like the idea, he looks like he's doing all right, so he'll be all right.
It takes time.
Yeah.
With Nina, I was just raw vegan. I didn't even know anything about the fruit and the juicing. And my mom came over And she was like, Nina's arms are too flexible. Like, they want to find anything.
Too flexible?
Too flexible.
Oh, wow.
And she said, she needs more protein.
That's always the one. Yeah.
And then it worked up into, vegan babies are dying all over the world, Julie.
Oh, boy.
And then she had to go talk to my cousin, who's a doctor. And she said, oh, okay. I talked to your cousin, and she said it's okay.
So once she talked to your cousin,
then
it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't okay before, but she talked to a doctor. Now it's okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it had to be like, she had to go find confirmation from another source that she trusted.
That's right.
That she felt was more reliable. How did you feel about that? Or did you kind of roll with that? Was that just kind of like, oh, whatever?
Ever since my awakening, I feel like, I'm not taking any information from a doctor. If I'm in a real bad position, I'll go in there and I'll ask them what they think with their machines and stuff. If I need surgery, if I need like a severed limb.
Yeah, something acute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But or maybe just to get their diagnostics and then treat myself.
There you go. Yeah.
But you know the answer. It's just because I've been consuming in some way, consuming something wrong. That's all it is. So I just need to fix that. But
so
it's very insulting to my
And it sounds like you've also learned how to not take things so personally. Like you said, hey.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Yeah. So that's good.
It used to be very insulting, and now I'm just like, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. And it's just like the journey is ongoing, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. Excited for what's beyond the horizon, you know? Like today you gave us a picture, Julie. You talked about climbing a mountain, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you're climbing the mountain and it's like, you know, you're like, when am I gonna, you know, make it up this mountain? But then if you turn around and you look and see how far you've come, you realize, wow, I've come a long way, you know? And then you get to the top of the mountain and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see much further now.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I can see my house from here, right? And then if you look up even further, you see, oh snap, wait a minute, there's another mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the journey of life. It's like there's no end destination.
No end.
It's a journey. It's a continuation. So I love that analogy that you gave, just the imagery of the mountain. And sometimes when we get to the top, it feels like we're alone. It feels like we're by ourselves. But when you have a community around you, when you have a support system around you, when you have people around you who are like-minded, who are kindred spirits, and you
nothing
know,
better.
There you go.
Like, what? I'm feeling amazing. You're feeling amazing too. Like, yes, there's emotions. We're human.
Yeah.
But the emotions are different without the dense food. They're just, they don't get stuck in you.
Yeah, it's different. Very different. Yeah.
Life is. How much of your pain did you eliminate when you stopped eating?
See, this is the thing, Julie. So, good question. Not a lot of people ask this question. So, there are probably things that I avoided that I may never know. Because the road that I was on, like the path I was on, the trajectory, the direction, I was heading to the hospital. I just wasn't aware.
Yeah.
So the stuff that I was eating on a daily basis, you know, the things I was drenching and draining in the things that I was eating, like covering, it was like, it was already too bland for me. And it was already like, the sodium level was already up there.
Yeah.
I was just adding to it. More hot sauce, more ketchup, more of this, more salt, more everything.
You just always need more.
It just was more. There was no end.
You just need more flavor, more salt, more
Just
this, more that.
More stimulation. So I was heading to the hospital. It was like the level of, I'll just say this. I'll give you a picture. The level of spice. They used to call me the Spice King. Like, we were the Spice family. I was the Spice King. They put me on I used to go to this place. I'm talking real.
Yeah.
I used to go to this place called Pluckers here in Texas.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Were you born and raised here?
No. I was born in Germany. I was raised in South Carolina. So I used to go to this place here in Texas called Pluckers, and I ate 25 of their hottest wings. And they put me on the wall. They took a Polaroid camera and snapped my picture because I did it all without any water or no milk. Like this was the like just think about the level of tolerance that I had to have had adapted over time. This wasn't overnight.
Yeah.
This was over years.
Yeah.
That I got to the point where I could have something
You can't
caked
feel it.
with ghost pepper and jalapenos
Whoa.
and habaneros like sprinkled on top just for fun. They put me on the wall of flame. They called it the wall of flame. My friend Julie at the time, I was working at Wimberley Zipline Adventures as a zipline tour guide.
Nice.
He said, can I take a dab of that? Julie, I'll never forget. He took a dab. He took a dab of what I was eating.
Yeah.
Just all the stuff I was eating. He put it on his tongue, and a tear came down his eye. And this was what I was eating in one sitting. Like, this was regular for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably had stomach ulcers. I probably had stuff that I just never found out, and I probably healed that I'll never reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I changed before it was, I had enough emotional pain to get me out before I felt the intense physical pain.
Mm-hmm.
But I was on the road to some physical pain, like some real bad.
Yeah.
So thank you for asking that question. You know, thank you for that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing the answer. I definitely was the same. I mean, it's just interesting now when I go from the fruits to like if I eat, you know, if I go back and eat something else. I mean, I try never to do that. I have like an 18-month streak going, but it's just like drugs. Like you have some, and then you can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what should I have next? What should I have next?
You fantasize
And
about
then
it.
you're tasting it. It's almost like this doesn't taste really satisfying.
No.
I think I need something else. I need to put something else in here. And it's all just fake. It's
Yeah.
like Play-Doh. It's like man took Play-Doh and made it into a burger. And they're like, here you go. And then the Play-Doh. And it's like, and you're almost like making yourself love it. Like you're like, this is so good. But if
Like
you
you're
really
fooling
tap
yourself.
in,
Yeah.
this is not very good. And if you're cleansed, your palate is cleansed. My Robbie really likes spice. The
All
baby.
Good. All good.
And
Nice.
jalapeno.
You said Robbie really likes spice?
Yeah. And he's been raw with me over 100 days this year. But
Awesome.
he's he got off of prescription drugs just recently, so he is skyrocketing.
That's huge.
But still, working on his diet stuff. And
There he is. We were just talking about
we're
you,
talking
brother.
about spice, babe.
Spice?
And spice.
Like spices?
Spicy.
Yeah.
I grew up.
And a jalapeno was in the fridge.
She was saying you got off all your medications recently.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
And I was on Suboxone, and I was on it for a long time. Most people don't come off of that.
Jeez.
It was, thanks to the juicing and the diet, for sure.
What did it do for you when you came off of that?
What do you mean? Can you
Like, what did it do for you?
Come around, you want to come on?
What did it do for you? Like,
Your mind. His mind is still
Oh, my mind's...
opening and awakening.
Yeah.
you can sit here if you want. Yeah. I'll sit on the rock. Go ahead. Like, and also just
Sorry.
for your confidence in knowing that you could create such a change. Like you say, there's a lot of people that never come off of that.
Yeah, that's
So the fact that you did, what did that do for you? Like, just your confidence in knowing that the body can change.
It let me know I could conquer some serious issues. They're not going to hear us all the way back there.
I don't know how to get all. You got to scoot.
Oh, it's all good.
By
It's all good.
us.
It's
Okay,
all good.
we'll
Yeah.
just hear you.
You'll just hear me.
So it was like a complete reset because I've been on it for so long that it, had changed my personality in ways that I wasn't aware of. So coming off of it, we're at 2 years now, and it's still leaving my system.
Man.
I still feel it affecting me on a daily basis. Like I
Still
still
says he has brain fog.
I
every
still have
day.
brain fog.
Okay.
But in general, it let me know that I can actually conquer these demons, because I was terrified to come off of it.
Okay.
It was a very painful and long process. You know, it's like coming off the heroin, but for months instead of a week or two.
He was very scared. Robbie and I dated 8 years ago. We were both.
You're welcome.
I was a severe addict at that time.
Okay.
And I had to leave because we couldn't get sober together.
Okay.
But he was my true love, my first love.
He is,
my only love.
Oh my God.
And I just knew that I couldn't do it with him, so I had to leave. And that's when I got together with Nina's father.
Oh, I see.
And I did the work there, but then I realized that if I loved myself, I could love him.
Okay, that happened. It had to happen first. You had to have the self-love before. You're saying you realized if you could love yourself, then you could love him.
And then I was like just thinking how unhappy I was in my relationship, and I wanted to get out, and who is my perfect person? And I was just like, he has everything that I want. And so I started to energetically call to him. Like I really was channeling him. And he was like, I could feel him like blocking me out.
Yeah,
like,
you choke my dreams and make me cry.
Oh snap!
Oh
snap! Oh no!
And then,
why am I dreaming about you for the first time in 5 years? Go away.
Jesus!
I just kept poking and then one day, out of nowhere, I remembered his phone number.
Wait. By heart?
By heart.
Okay.
I was just like, I know Robbie's number. And I hadn't known it in years. Like, the universe gave it back to me at the right time.
So you could
when
call
I had conquered my addictions. And then I thought, I'm going to call him. So I was a mess when we were dating. I threw syrup at the wall. I threw sriracha at the wall. A stripper stole my car one time. There was just lots of chaos.
A what stole your car?
A stripper.
Wait.
She went out. She's like, I need a ride. And she took my brand new car. I'm like, whoa,
She
wait.
snatched the keys off the wall.
What?
She's like, I got a big gig in LA. I'm going to the airport. Woo! And I'm like, I can't be hanging out with.
How do you explain these things happening? Like
You
just.
hang out with.
Okay,
I was
so
hanging out with people on
it was
drugs.
the environment.
She got caught up in some really negative demonic energy.
Gotcha.
And it's all consuming when you get in that bubble.
True.
So.
Okay.
And I just, so I left. But during my point for going back there was that at that point I said to Robbie, get off the Suboxone, let's get sober together. And he told me, no, I can't. That was it. There was no more talking about it.
Yeah, I was terrified.
When we got pregnant with Violet, I said, let's do it. And he said, okay.
Yeah.
What changed?
And then he did it.
What changed to make you... Okay. Violet changed.
Violet, yeah.
She was the reason.
Yeah, and I also checked myself into a really bougie cash-only facility so that I was a client and not a patient.
Okay.
Which really helped things. I actually had, patient rights. I had my own private bed. It was really expensive, but it was totally worth it.
Okay.
I got to prepare my own food after detox, and all of that made a difference. We were put up in like a nice mansion in South Florida, and we could bust over to the rehab facility for our classes, and then we'd go home back to the mansion. And
nice.
So it was a lot more comfortable, and compared to most rehabs, they had a more holistic approach.
Okay.
So I spent a
He
lot
juiced
of time. Yeah,
the
I
whole
was allowed
time.
to
By
juice.
the way,
Yeah.
my plan for him was to do juice cleanse for 90 days.
Okay.
And on the 90th day to go into rehab so that his body was very in the highest place.
Wow.
So that he could handle it, so he wouldn't give up. So we made it 65 days, and he's like, I'm ready. I'm just ready to go now.
Yeah.
And
Let's do it.
so 65 days on juice, then he gets in there, and he really wanted to make sure he could keep juicing, right? Like he can't have the whole thing. He can't eat the food that they're serving.
That was all super Southern comfort kind of,
Okay.
like heavy food,
Like
giant
mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah, like
macaroni
giant
and cheese.
slabs of like roast beef. And tons of mac and cheese. Just like good old barbecue food. But
Southern.
And but the water there was toxic. Like I could taste the nasty in the water, and like even the food was gross. So I ended up just dry fasting.
Okay.
For, like, 3 days before they kicked me out into the fancy rehab.
Okay.
I dropped down to like 110 pounds.
Okay.
In that 1 week period, I checked into like
Body
135.
was going through a lot.
And by the time they, because you go to detox first, right? You go to a detox center first, and then when you're done detoxing, you go to the actual rehab part.
Okay.
And after a few days of that, they're like, "You got to go, man.
You got to get out of here."
They're coming to get you now. And
Oh,
like,
man.
Thank God, you got to get, bro.
They didn't understand, you know. They didn't understand what
Give
is
me
he
to my
doing,
private room.
Jesus.
losing all this weight. And
Yeah.
Well, and there's the other things that people don't tell you about detox is that like they do suicide and bed checks every 10 minutes,
Oh.
and what that
Thanks,
entails is
Jerome.
they come into your room and they shine an iPad in your face. It's like, bro, I just fell asleep for the first time in 4 days. What are you doing waking me up? Like,
Just to see if you're alive.
yeah, just you know, CYA, you know, hedging their bets, making sure that you're not a risk to them.
Oh, it's not even about
It's not
you.
about
It's
you,
about
it's about
them.
them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
It's expensive to have somebody, you know.
Jeez. I didn't even know about that element, like suicide checks. I
Oh,
never
and we had
even
like
heard
little ankle bracelets, like we were on house arrest.
Okay.
All sorts of for them things in case we, you know, jump over the back fence, they can track us down.
of flight risk
Yeah.
That's
for
crazy.
everybody, like, you know. So
across the board.
yeah,
My goodness. So you made it out.
yeah, maybe
You got it out, man.
So I've been watching him rise like
Yeah.
crazy. Then he became a father.
Oh, yeah, and I was dead when I got back to North Carolina. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
could
was
barely
scary
walk.
for me
Like,
because
it's a
I
serious
was like
detox.
leaving this like very controlling relationship and coming back to connect with him, and I was like, is he gonna do the right things, or am I picking somebody who's like gonna, you know, pick the wrong things? So he kept making the right decision after the right decision.
It's a lot easier once you have the little ones too. Like if you've gotten into the habit of doing destructive things.
Violet May,
a
would
lot-
you like
lot
to play
easier.
with this?
You said it's a lot easier once you have the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there is even that defining line between men. Some men choose the substance over the children, and my brain's just not wired that way.
No.
So
You don't even seem like that person. No.
He's so sweet and sensitive and giving. He gives to his family every day.
oh,
Oh, thanks.
Oh.
That was $100. No, I'm kidding. It was probably $40. This silly
pick up
thing.
the beads, get some fish.
Wow, you have very good detachment. I mean, very good. You just showed, you know, you're like, hey, you're like, no sweat.
It's all good. Now it's part of the Casa de Luz.
You just help them decorate. Oh, man.
Oh, and you just put it in there for people. Those are volcanic rocks.
I love that example. Just like, you know, we were talking about patience.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were saying how Violet and Nina have definitely helped you with patience. And then when I just seen that example right there, you're like,
Just
You know, I'll tell you, I was a kindergarten teacher. One time, my children, my 19 5-year-olds, I taught them to read and write. I had a class of 19 to 20. I put my hair up once, 6 months into teaching them every day, all day. I put it in a ponytail.
Yeah.
I never did that before.
Okay.
They come out of music class. All 19 of them, one at a time. Miss Bailey, you look so beautiful. What did you do to your hair? And then next little boy, oh, look at your hair. It's just a ponytail. Working with children is the best thing in the world. The best thing. I mean, somebody will fart, a little big fart, and everybody looks around and just bursts out laughing. One time
still do that.
One time I got a gift,
Moments like this.
and I'm gonna open it up. It's this little boy. He's so excited to give me this gift, and I look inside, and there's a dirty sock. I pull it out, and he's like, "My mom must have put that in there. Give me that back. The present's inside." It's just all
Yeah.
a hoot.
Yeah.
Nothing too serious. All
No,
love.
all love, all love. See those moments you're saying like they really they teach you not to take things so seriously. Yeah, like not to take life so seriously, not to take, you know, because we are programmed to take things very seriously.
Yeah,
you know?
we weigh loss heavier than we weigh gain as a species, which makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. But here in
What's
the modern
the-
era, not so much.
What's the biggest thing a personal habit, or not a habit, but a personal part of you that you broke, that you were carrying around, that you did not, that was undesirable to you, or not good, not serving you, like a characteristic or something you were able to conquer?
Yeah. Well, one of them was akin to one of the things that you were saying earlier about judgment from others.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah, so for me, I definitely shattered that because there was a time where I was worried a lot about perception from the outside, and it would lead me into thinking that something was unworthy of putting myself out, unworthy of being vulnerable, unworthy of speaking my truth. You know, like, oh, what are they going to think about me? Should I say this? Should I be like this? Should I be myself? You know, and so embracing myself totally and just being unafraid to be who I am and let that shine through has been the result of, over time, just reconditioning myself to understand, well, first of all, everyone is living their own... Oh, that was awesome. Whoa, Violet.
Got that on camera.
That was awesome. That was so cool. She just... Whoa.
Yeah.
Understanding that everyone is living in their own body. Like, everyone's living in their own world, their own, you know, their mentality is their own reality. So that kind of showed me, like, hey, they're not worried about you as much as you think. So it gave me permission to just do it anyway. Like, whatever you want to do, just do it anyway. Because
and then people love it, actually. And then you get rewarded once you break through that barrier. And then everybody's like, whoa! And you find the people that do.
There you go. You find your tribe.
Yeah.
You find your tribe. Because it was a paradox. It was paradoxical. Like, they gravitate towards somebody who's being themselves because a lot of people just weren't being themselves. Mm-hmm. So when they see somebody who's just unashamedly, like unabashedly just being their authentic truth,
it's so attractive. You're like,
it's attractive.
How'd you do that? I want to do that.
But anybody, I mean, we stand out anyways, just being who we are, because there's no one like you.
Yeah.
You know, no one is you.
And even when people express concern, it's more on a social and societal level than it is on a physical health level. It's like, oh, you're not going to do this, but what about when you go out to eat? I'm like, who gives a damn?
She's going for it, Jerome. She's going for it.
Yeah, who cares?
It's not about, oh, what about my cholesterol levels? No, it's not that.
Oh, Vic's sound healing's happening. Y'all want to go?
All right. Ooh. Hey, thank y'all. Yeah. Thank y'all for this.
So good.
Thank you so much.
Great to meet you.
Thank you for your story.
I talk about you all the time.
Seriously. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for just that
We
testimony.
walked in, he's like, hey, look over there. He points right at you because he knows I was so excited to meet you in person.
Oh, man.
But it really doesn't feel like, I mean, it's definitely better. But it really doesn't feel any different because I met you years ago.
Yeah.
So
I know what you mean. But yeah, thank y'all.
I wish Nina could have met you, but she will. This won't be the first time. Thank you for all those who came in.
Much love, everyone.
We love you.
Much love.
Keep being authentic.
Take care.